adding a few drops of water to the little mound of powder. Well, the grass is always greener, isn't it? "You all right in there?" calls the voice from beyond, which is how I've begun to think of the man outside. "I'll be absolutely fine if you could please just give me a fucking minute," I snarl, flushing the toilet to drown out the sound of the lighter, which I hold now under the spoon, the flame tonguing the metal. The powdery liquid hesitates for a moment, simmers, and then erupts in a little rapture of froth, bubbles winking at the brim, before resolving into an espresso dark pool. Christ, I'm half in love with it. The burnt syrup smell of freshly cooked heroin. Like returning from a long journey and opening your front door to the comforting waft of home. I'm well aware that all right-thinking people would look at me now, here of all places, on today of all days, bent over the cistern, tearing off a strip of filter with my teeth and placing it in the spoon with downright revulsion. But at some point in the morbid GIF file of my life, cluck, score, use, cluck, score, use, I must have given up caring about the opinions of right-thinking people. In any case, maintaining a steady flow of opiates through my body has long ceased to be a reckless indulgence or even a treatment for emotional malaise. With a habit like mine, shooting up 5 or 6 times a day is simply a medical necessity. Without it, I'd soon descend into the inferno of withdrawal, and then I'd struggle to make it from my bed to the bathroom to puke, let alone all the way to North Wales to pay my respects to the dearly departed. Rolling up my sleeves, I say out loud, "I'm afraid the condition of the patient leaves us with no choice but to operate." "Pardon me?" calls the voice from beyond. "Never mind," I shout. I really must stop talking to myself. People are going to start thinking there's something wrong with me. Anyway, it's not as though I didn't exhaust all other options before showing up here loaded with crack and heroin. I even hauled myself down to the methadone clinic and sat in the waiting room, which, with its public health notices, easy wipe chairs, and atmosphere of stifled dread, might have been mistaken for a badly dilapidated dental practice, except that several of my fellow clients visibly had no need for a dentist, since they had no teeth. When my name was called, I went into a small room and sat opposite a substance misuse worker who, before giving the go-ahead for a doctor to write me a prescription for methadone, insisted on delivering a pep talk on the benefits of abstinence. Leaning over the desk, she gave me an earnest look. "Now, she said, glancing down at her notes, "Matthew, what I'd like you to do is imagine I could hand over all the money you've ever spent on heroin and give it to you in one nice big lump sum. Can you do that for me?" She helpfully mimed placing a heavy bag of cash on the desk. "Now, if you could walk out of here and take it home with you right now, what would you spend it on? Go ahead, anything at all. Use your imagination." "Well," I began, rapidly losing patience with this idiotic thought experiment. She nodded encouragingly. "Go on, there are no wrong answers." "If I could only choose one thing—" "Yes?" Her head was nodding so hard it seemed about to fall off. I stared at her blankly. "I suppose I'd probably buy a fucking enormous quantity of heroin, and then I'd go home and start taking it all." 15 minutes later, I was in the pharmacy with a methadone script. 60 ml to be administered daily, but my resolve lasted all of 24 hours. The moment I choked down the first mouthwash-flavoured gulp of the unnaturally green liquid, I recalled why I hated methadone. It arrests the physical symptoms of withdrawal, but it does nothing about the craving in the pit of your stomach or the hyena-like jabber in your brain. The next day I was back at the same counter, requesting yet another supply of needles. The thing about smack is that it just works. That's what people don't realise. Others might see me as an extremist, a fanatical member of a chemical death cult, but the way I see it, I'm simply a pragmatist. When you strip away the bullshit, life is pain management. Nothing more, nothing less. And heroin is, by far, the most effective painkiller I've ever found. I opened one of the white wraps, the crumpled plastic and oyster shell with its dirty white pearl. Now, The crack, I have to admit, isn't, strictly speaking, a medical necessity.